Hello. Okay, this is for the assignment for review of clinical skills. So, first question, how has my clinical experience and academic work in this phase prepared me for this assessment? So when I first began phase 2, I was at a placement that had about 2 births a month, and I was feeling like every single person has to birth with us with no transfers, or I'm barely going to make my numbers. And that placement ended up not working out as my preceptor let me go. So I was forced to find a different placement, which was very difficult emotionally, but it ended up blessing me tremendously. I have currently over 40 assisting births, and I'll probably have close to 60 by the time we have our assessment. So I feel like I'm more prepared than I anticipated, and I feel very lucky about that. So things I've learned about myself is I'm really strong. I'm not willing to give up on this dream of becoming a midwife, even when it gets difficult, and it has been difficult quite often. So far, I'm really happy with myself that I've been able to push through those times. Um, Something I've learned about myself is that I have a difficult time accepting criticism. So I need to be better at that. That I've noticed has been really hard for me, and I definitely take it personal, which is not good. I need to get over that. I feel like I'm really good at doing IVs. I hardly ever mess up. I feel very confident doing blood draws. Again, I hardly ever miss the vein. Giving pit is no problem for me. Vitals, got those down cold for sure. I feel very confident with Leopold and fetal heart tones. I feel like I'm pretty good about assessing if a woman's in active labor or not. I feel like it's pretty obvious if she's in active labor or not. But I mean, that was an easy one. I felt like that even as a doula. So skills that I think I'm competent in, but my preceptors' reports disagree. So I currently have 3 preceptors, and I'll be getting a 4th one next month. And so it's kind of difficult because I've had them each do. I've had 2 of them do a report for me before, and they both evaluated me differently. So that was difficult. So some of my preceptors agree with how I feel, and the other one is a little bit more harsh. She has higher standards. She's a nurse midwife, and she's actually never even had students. So I'm one of her very first students. Me and my peer are her first students. And so it's hard to reach her standards, not only because she's a nurse midwife, but she's just never had students. And so I feel like her standards are unreachable. But that's good, because hopefully it'll just make me better student, better midwife. So no, I have not had my preceptor mark me as competent when I didn't feel I was competent yet. I've had my preceptors mark me as developing when I felt I was competent. So skills that I haven't achieved competency yet. First, one of them was giving anesthesia to the perineum when a episiotomy is anticipated or a perineal repair is required. So I haven't done that yet. I've only evaluated tears maybe twice. I know for sure once. And we don't repair too often because it's not needed too often. So I haven't had that opportunity yet. I have given anesthesia to a chicken breast and to a cantaloupe. So hopefully I'll get to do it to a person soon. My preceptors are planning to have a skills day soon to do that. Okay, skills that I am not commonly practiced in my clinical space placement, especially those required for completion of phase 2. So episiotomy and pelvimetry. We never do episiotomies. I've never seen one done. My nurse midwife preceptor said she's only done one once in her entire career, and the other 2 midwives, I don't think they've ever done one. So I'm certain I'm never going to be able to practice that. There's a possibility I might see it be done, but I'm never going to be able to do it on a real person. Neither would I want to. Pelvimetry is difficult because my preceptors have said that it's the most beneficial to someone who is not pregnant, and we never see people who aren't pregnant. And then the people who are pregnant don't want a vaginal exam at the beginning of their pregnancy, so it's kind of hard. I don't have the opportunity for that. Okay, how is my professionalism? What areas do I need to improve to be a better midwife? I feel like I am adequately professional with clients. My birth center is actually more professional than probably other home birth midwives are. Clients come into the building, we don't go to their home, and sometimes I'm actually kind of bothered how professional it is. I feel like we could be more personable, but I would say I'm definitely adequately professional. The areas that I need to improve on to be a better midwife, like I said, I need to be better accepting criticism, because I know my midwives are just showing me areas that I can improve on, and so if I can get past the sensitivity and the taking it personal and just realize, I am not good in this area that they are addressing, and I need to work to improve it. That'll make me a better midwife. My plan to study for the integrated skills exam part is to practice with my preceptors. The next assignment, the skills inventory, it's actually kind of funny because I did this without knowing it was an assignment. So I printed off the skills competency form, and I marked competent on everything that my preceptors had marked competent in other skills reviews. So in last semester and the semester before that, because the semester before that was a different preceptor, so I didn't include it. So just the 2 previous ones, I took and I went back and marked what they had marked competent, and then left all the others blank that weren't competent. And so I printed out for my preceptors, and I said, okay, everything needs to be in the C column by April for me to be able to be eligible to take the assessment. So we've been working on it. It's kind of hard because I've had preceptors tell me often that midwifery is not a checkoff list, and that you have to learn, and it's not about checking boxes or getting things done. It's about learning and becoming proficient in areas, which I completely agree and I understand. But as a student, sometimes it is about checking off boxes, and so it's frustrating because I agree with them and I want to understand them, but I can't pass my classes unless the boxes are checked. So it's really been hard to kind of find that balance, and sometimes I feel uncomfortable being like, okay, can we work on this box? That's kind of hard sometimes, but it is what it is. So we've been doing that, and it's been going well so far. My goal is to check off 1 box a week, so that by the time April comes, they're all checked off. I don't have that many. I think there's maybe a dozen that I need to work on, but it feels daunting, and so I feel like if each week I can, in my mind, focus on one thing, and then, sneak it in here and there, like, oh, I'd love to practice this, I see this opportunity, then I can later go back and be like, oh, remember when we did that together, and hopefully they'll feel comfortable with it. Which optional skills module do I need to complete to get all my clinical skills to competent? So I was looking at the optional skills modules, and all of the options I actually already have as competent, so it's not very beneficial for me. But there are certainly a lot of things I need to do with my preceptor. As I think about moving forward to phase 3, how ready am I to move to the next phase of my training? So I actually feel very confident being the primary midwife under supervision. I really wanted to start this January because, like I said, I have so much experience. I have over 40 births. I have like 900 hours or something. It's crazy. Actually, I think it's 500. So I feel totally ready. I mean, according to my numbers and, just looking at it that way, I am ready, but because of the way MCU is set up, there were several classes that I needed to complete that I couldn't complete fast enough. But as I'm taking these classes, I'm actually finding them very beneficial, and I can totally see why they're required before being the primary midwife under supervision. So that's been good. But I do feel ready, and I'm just hoping that my midwives will agree. I've seen a lot of students get to that point where they're like, I'm ready, and the midwife's like, no, you're not. So I'm really praying that doesn't happen to me. So I'm just trying really hard to do what my preceptors are asking of me, and I'm trying to be better at accepting criticism. I know I could do better with that. Sometimes I think my midwives are frustrated because I'm too confident, and they just think that's a negative. I don't know. My midwife wrote me an email and she said, you need to stop rushing. You have a lot to learn, which obviously I know I have a lot to learn, but I feel like if I'm ready, they should let me be ready. And then, as things come up where it's like I'm not confident in that, I'll let them know, and then we can work together to get me there. I've also noticed that with certain preceptors, I'm a lot more confident than I am with other preceptors. And I've also noticed that when I feel confident, if they leave, like we had one birth where she was asking me to catch, and I was like all excited, and I was like, great, yeah, I'm ready. And she was getting kind of pushy, and my preceptor was like, I need to go to the bathroom, I'll be right back. And she left, and I started to panic, and I was like, oh my gosh, what if I have to catch this baby and she's not here? And I got really nervous. And so I noticed that I'm only confident when they're there. So after that, I was like, please don't leave me. So that was funny. But, I mean, that's a good sign. If I'm confident when they're there, it's because I trust them, and I trust that they will intervene if needed. So, sorry, that was really long, but great assignment. Thank you.
Bye-bye.